Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of The Hard Choice, Simple Steps for Showing Up. My name is Brad Draper. I am your host. I am grateful to be with you today. Man, I have so much to be grateful for, to be honest. At the time of this recording, my daughter is now born, 9 months in the making, literally. Actually, 3 years in the making. We've tried for almost 3 years. And she's finally here, and so much is going on, and so much chaos, and so much calamity, and so much beauty, and it's just so much to take in. Something I wanted to talk about today is something that I repeat in this series over and over and over again. I haven't said it as much lately, but that's okay. And the thing that I say often, you hear me say all the time, is where you focus, you find. I want to do an entire podcast episode on this because it truly is that way. Where you focus, you find. It is amazing in our life where you place your aim, where you place your attention, where you place your focus, you actually find those things. So here's the thing. I'm shooting this on a camera, uploading it to YouTube for those that are watching YouTube. If you're not watching YouTube, well, you can. You might get a different experience. But where do you place? No. Where do you aim your camera? And where do you place your focus of what is in frame? You might be aiming the camera in the right direction, but in focus on the wrong thing. I do photography periodically, have for 15 years as a hobby, and I might have the structure of the frame correct. I might have my frame dialed in, but what is in focus is not what I wanted to be in focus when I get to the end. Maybe I'm doing a photo of a portrait, someone's face, and the top of their hair is in focus and not their face and eyes, or their ear is in focus but not their eyes, or their eyelashes in focus but not their eyes. The thing I wanted was their eyes. So what are you actually focusing on? Everything else seems to fall away. In photography, whatever is in focus is what your eyes are drawn to. It's what embodies the photo. The things that are blurred out, all the bokeh and all the fall off, it's kind of just there, but your eyes don't focus on it. Where you focus, you find. In life, you truly see and experience that in which you place your gaze and attention. Something I really want to talk about was your gaze and your attention. I had mentioned my daughter's born. There is chaos. It is insane. I'm running on such little sleep. And how cool it is that my body is adapting to that. I could go two different stories. I can say, I'm so sorry. I'm lethargic. I'm slow. I'm tired. Or I can say, I'm energized because my daughter is here. A little bit tired. I might need a nap. I might be caffeinated, and that's okay. But what story are you placing on the things that you're looking at? Are you finding things resourceful, or are you finding things unresourceful? Are you looking at things that bring you joy, happiness, satisfaction, bliss, ecstasy? Or are you finding things that are unresourceful, dismal, chaotic, dark, not happy, bad? What are you seeing? You can look at these two different ways. You can look at business as chaos, organization, organized chaos. You can find it in so many things. And in business for us, we're in technology. We're keeping up with things and moving forward with tech and how wild of a space that is. And it is so fun to find the beauty in things. So today, case in point, we ran what we hoped to be our final back test before we go to real-time forward testing in simulation mode. We're in the stock market. And back test after back test after back test for the last 5 months have gone stupendous. We've really enjoyed how it went. We finally got all of our ducks in a row. We were doing the final test, and it was down by over 400%. Yeah. That sucks. To say I was disappointed is an understatement. I was doing a certain amount of percent per day in back testing, and it was down 400%. That truly sucked and was unacceptable, by the way. And so we went back, had a meeting with our engineering team and said, yo, what did you change? What moved? What shifted? What happened? And they said, well, we did this, and this, but this major change we did. Well, that major change was a fairly large one. And we said, clearly it didn't work. But while we're in the process of this major change, reverting it back, let's kind of tweak it. And we went from one platform to another. From the previous platform, we only had, we'll say, 10 line items of view. We now have 50 line items of view. So we said, okay, we made these changes based off of previous understanding. Let's go deeper. Let's refine more. And then as we cross compare A/B test, which one wins? And then out of that, we just go down the line. Our CTO had the thought, man, maybe I should make a bunch of client accounts and then we can run them all at the exact same time. So instead of run one and every 30 minutes, reiterate. Now we are reiterating every 30 minutes, but it's 9 situations going on versus 1. How cool is that? And so we finish this call and we are all jazzed, excited, and pumped up for the opportunity at hand to potentially refine and make superior than it previously was. Think about that. We were doing something we were already happy with. Variable comes in. It does 400% worse. Brings us to the drawing board. We ask better questions. And in asking better questions, you can find a better solution than you had before. It was the problem that caused the better questions and then allowed us to open our mind and think outside of the box. And now we are testing, as I record this, a plethora. It probably would have been 4 or 5 or 6 today. Now it's going to be more like 30 different iterations by the end of the day. How cool is that? For one, you can say this sucks. This is horrible. We were doing well in backtesting and now it kind of sucks and not acceptable and can't even go to market with it. Or you can say, what opportunities does this problem bring us? What field of view can we see now because of what we are focusing on? We're focused on bringing this better. And this gave us a different lens to which we can view. The camera is still pointed in the right direction. We probably can even say we were focused on the right thing, but we were wearing the wrong lens. Maybe we had too narrow of a lens, too long of a lens, too slow of a lens, too fast of a lens. Those are all things in photography for those, my photog nerds. Yeah. But what I'm getting at is there are so many variables and so many ways to look at things. You can say this in your relationships, both marital, intimate, friend, business, parent, child, whatever. You can have this in spirituality. You can have this in physical fitness. You can have this in so many things. In physical fitness, I have not placed virtually any energy into my nutrition now for like 4 months because I realized I was putting so much energy into nutrition and to physique and training and my family and business and all these things that I was subpar in all of them. So I go to the gym, I slam as much weight as I can, which by the way is making me put on unreal mass. It's awesome. I'm a little softer than I would like, and that's okay because I can get back. But the business is moving, my family is moving. I diverted energy into those things. You can look at that from 2 lenses, right? You can say, woe is me. I'm not as shredded or as tight or as strong or whatever. I'm not what I was. Or you can say, look at all these things that are beautiful and moving forward and progressing because I put more energy there. What are you focusing on? What energy are you placing into it? And what I mean by that is, are you placing resourceful energy or unresourceful energy? You can do that in everything, by the way. There is no such thing as good or bad. All situations in your life are neutral. Everything is neutral. It is only labeled good or bad based off of the energy and label you place on it. Everything in your life can be of resource. Therefore, it can be positive or labeled good. I was with our class last night. Every Wednesday night, I teach a class at the prison. I've shared this many times on the podcast. And I asked everyone in the class, which was like 19 or 20 people, ladies specifically. I said, how many of you have had positive experiences while incarcerated? Every hand went up. How many of you have learned something about yourself while incarcerated? Every hand went up. How many of you would say you are a better person because you have become incarcerated? Every hand went up. I said, by definition, would you say that coming to prison in your life was resourceful or unresourceful? 100% of the group said resourceful. Then I said, okay, roll back the clock before you came to prison. Would you say going to prison is resourceful or unresourceful? And just about 100% said, I would have viewed it as unresourceful. I would have viewed it as a negative, bad thing in my life. But here we are. Some of them are about to parole. I have had a couple that just paroled, which is super freaking cool. Or a couple of parole. I would say I had parole. I didn't parole. I do nothing. I'm just a teacher. I'm just a volunteer there. I'm just kind of like a wink in their life. Hopefully a positive, resourceful wink, but a wink. I digress. We have this space where some of the top fears of all of humanity is going to prison, going to jail. Most people, it is common that people will commit suicide before going there. That's a thing. People would rather die than go to prison. But 100% of the people in the class said it was a good thing or a resourceful thing. I want you to think about that in your life. Where are you placing the label good and where are you placing the label bad? And how can you flip all of the bads to good? How can you change your focus? How can you change your lens? How can you change the frame of the picture entirely? Maybe you need to go to video and not in picture. Maybe you're too bright or you're too dark. You're under or overexposed. So many things in your life have variables, and they're all your choice. You have the beautiful, wonderful, and amazing opportunity to decide. It comes down to what do you want? It comes down to a decision. That's it. You are one decision away from everything changing in your life. And that's based off what you focus. When I say where you focus, you find, that is truly the case. If you're looking for a resource, if you're looking for positivity, if you're looking for good things, guess what? You're going to find it. If you're looking for unresourceful, dark, bad things, you're going to find it. If things seem dark in your world right now, sometimes we have that. Start focusing on the things of light, happiness, joy. Enjoy the experiences right now with all three of our kids, actually. And it's something that I love doing. It is so tiring and I love it. I take the first shift with our kids. My wife goes to bed extra early right now and I stay up with our daughter. I did with our other two sons as well. And I am there with my daughter in the dark nursery, a very low light, just so I can kind of see. And I feed her bottles. We hang out when she's awake because she's awake during this period of time generally. And we may hang out for 30 minutes and we may hang out for 2 hours. In this dark room, just she and I. We have conversations. We hang out. We rock back and forth. Sometimes we sing some songs. Keep in mind, she is 9 days old, approximately. My math was right. Yeah, 9 days. 10 days. Nope. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. 10 days. Yep. 10 days old in a couple of hours, actually. 2 hours. She's still conversing with me. Her conversation, though, is exclusively nonverbal. There's some coos in there and some clucks and some barks and some sounds that she makes at me. But we are still having a conversation. I can say, man, this sucks. I have to stay up and I get less sleep, a lot less sleep. And it's all broken up sleep. My total allotment isn't a lot and it's all broken up. I can say that sucks. Or I can say, I get to spend quality time with my daughter that is completely isolated from the world with zero interruptions. How cool is that? I'm grateful for those moments. I'm grateful to have the ability to place my lens on everything. And my lens is resourceful. I choose that. That is my choice, my decision. And I do the best that I can to guard that. I suggest you do the same. Thank you for joining me on this episode. Thank you for being with me on this journey of the hard choice. You can find me on socials, Mr. Brad Draper. Share this episode with your friends and family. It is the only way this show grows. It grows just because of you, which is so cool. Like this thing, subscribe to it, download it for future listenings. Until next week, I love you guys. Bye.